Welcome to Football with Cheese. Okay, in this video, we have to talk about the Steelers are hiring 62-year-old Mike McCarthy to be their next head coach, completely going against their entire franchise philosophy over the years, at going for a young, up and coming, defensive minded coordinator, someone who's in their 30s or early 40s that will be there for 15 or 20 years if everything works out. Instead, like I said, they hired 62-year-old, twice retread coach Mike McCarthy. I get it. It's a good story. He's from Pittsburgh. He talks about how proud he is to be from there quite a bit. So this is probably his dream job, but oh my God, what a terrible hire. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notification so you never miss one of my videos. Before we get into McCarthy, why I think it's such a terrible hire, let's just look at the other candidates they interviewed. Nate Scheelhaas, Rams passing game coordinator. Chris Shula, Rams defensive coordinator. Both of them would have been such a Steelers hire. I think Chris Shula was probably the favorite. Not sure if the Steelers didn't want to wait till the Rams season was over. It might end tomorrow, but even so, makes no sense. Shula would have been such a good hire. Anthony Weaver, Miami defensive coordinator. I think he interviewed twice, so he was definitely a finalist. Jesse Minter took the Ravens job, so he's out. Ejiro Evero, Panthers defensive coordinator. He's one of those guys that's going to get a job probably the next year or two. Didn't get one in this cycle, but up and coming coach. Jeff Hafley took the Dolphins job. Clay Kubiak, not Clint Kubiak, who's the Seattle offense coordinator, who's probably going to get a job, maybe not this year, but next year for sure. But Clay Kubiak is the 49ers offense coordinator, his brother. They're both the son of Gary Kubiak, who coached in the NFL. Brian Flores, one of the best defensive coordinators in the game for Minnesota. There were some issues when he was the Dolphins head coach years ago. Probably why he hasn't gotten a job yet. Plus, he has a lawsuit pending with a few teams. You can look it up. I'm not going to get into it. And then, of course, Mike McCarthy. Any of those 8 guys would have been better than McCarthy or any of those 6 guys that didn't take another job, in my opinion. Of all the candidates, to me, the worst one was Mike McCarthy. Okay, like I said, it's a good story. Pittsburgh native. But let's just talk about McCarthy's tenure as head coach of the Packers and Cowboys. Let's start with the Packers. He did win the Super Bowl and actually beat the Steelers, beat Mike Tomlin's team. But the Packers had the most talented team in the league. They had MVP level Aaron Rodgers. He won it the next year. You can definitely make the argument that starting in 2010 season, where they won the Super Bowl, through 2014, 2015, they had as much talent as anyone in the league. Definitely top 3 talented team. And they only won 1 Super Bowl. In fact, he went 15-1 the next year. And of course, they choked in the playoffs because it's a Mike McCarthy team. The worst was the 2014 NFC title game where they had the 16-0 lead in the second half, and they were up 19-7 going in the fourth quarter. And McCarthy's decision-making was horrible. Of course, they blew it. Seahawks would go on to lose the Super Bowl to the Patriots. But there were so many games in the playoffs where he got outcoached. They kept losing to the 49ers Jim Harbaugh teams. And every time, Harbaugh knew exactly what the Packers were going to do, knew the plays they were going to run. The Packers had the better quarterback. They had the better roster. Did not matter. And McCarthy kept Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator, way too long. And both of them had no idea what to do with the read option. Every other team at least contained the read option when they played the 49ers. McCarthy and Dom Capers, it was embarrassing. And they spent the whole offseason trying to learn how to defend it. And then in that first game against the 49ers, they basically decided we're not even going to rush the passer. We're going to let Kaepernick stand in the pocket. You can Google that game. It's pathetic. And so Kaepernick stands in the pocket and just completes passes all game. And the 49ers win because McCarthy and Capers were the 2 worst coaches in the NFL as far as head coach and defensive coordinator at the time because they're the only 2 coaches that couldn't figure it out. It's mind-boggling how he even got the Dallas job. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Okay. He coached there 5 seasons. Talented team. They won 12 games 3 times. He won 1 playoff game and 3 playoff appearances. And I got another stat for you. Matt LaFleur, who's another terrible coach, Green Bay Packers, they always pick terrible head coaches. Pretty much since Vince Lombardi, even Mike Holmgren wasn't even that great. But He lost to Matt LaFleur in 2023. They were favored by, I think, 8 points in that game and got destroyed. It's the one playoff win that Matt LaFleur has when he didn't have Aaron Rodgers. And it's probably the only one he's ever going to get when he didn't have Aaron Rodgers. Because you just know if the Packers make the playoffs, they're going to be one and done because LaFleur will get a big lead and just give the game away. So that's your legacy as a Cowboy head coach. You're the one coach that lost to Matt LaFleur without Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about quarterbacks. In his career, he's had 3 starting quarterbacks. Brett Favre, Hall of Fame. Aaron Rodgers going to be in the Hall of Fame. Dak Prescott, we'll see. Very good quarterback, though, coming off a really good season. He's always had a very good or elite quarterback. So, of course, his record looks good. His playoff record is 11-11. That's terrible. We talked about that in the Sean McDermott video. I'll link it at the end if you haven't seen it. 8-8 in the playoffs got him fired. It wasn't good enough. 500 in the playoffs is not good. And if you take away that run where they just had such a talented team and they won the Super Bowl and Aaron Rodgers got hot, the whole team got hot. They had Clay Matthews, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, BJ Raji, Charles Woodson, all these great players in their prime. If you take that season away, he was 7-11 in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and Dak Prescott. Almost every game they had the better quarterback. Almost every game he was favored. And 7 wins, 11 losses. That's terrible. He gets out coached in so many games. And he lucked into the Packers job. He lucked into a great situation. He wasted Aaron Rodgers' prime so many years. They get in the playoffs, and it's just a disaster. Completely wasted Aaron Rodgers' prime. He should have at least 3 Super Bowls with the Packers. There were 2 seasons where they hands down had the best team, the most talented team. And Mike McCarthy found a way to blow it. So Steelers fans, I know some of you are going to disagree with me because you want to be excited and you don't want to think your team messed up. But this is terrible. And he doesn't have an Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have a Dak Prescott. What's their plan? Who are they going to sign? Who are they going to draft? And I got a prediction for you. The Steelers have not had a losing record since 2003. This coming season, they will have a losing record. Because Mike McCarthy cannot win without a really, really good quarterback. Maybe, though, just throwing this out there, and let me know in the comments if you think this is possible. If you're a conspiracy theorist, maybe Omar Khan, the GM's thinking, okay, let's go get the worst coach possible. Let's try to stink the next couple of years and go draft a quarterback in 2027. Because with Tomlin, we always win 9 or 10 games. So we're never going to pick high to get a quarterback. So let's go get the opposite of Tomlin. Instead of a good coach, let's get a terrible coach. And people can say, oh, what a great story. And we'll ignore the fact that McCarthy sucks. He's a terrible coach. He absolutely sucks. It was so frustrating for years as a Packer fan, watching all these games where he gets out-coached. Watching Aaron Rodgers get so mad about the play calling and the decision-making. I know Rodgers can bitch and complain sometimes, but still, he was right. And anyone thinking that they hired him to get Aaron Rodgers to come back, trust me, Aaron Rodgers was ready for a change. He was frustrated for McCarthy the last 2 or 3 years he was there. So I do not see that happening. There's not going to be a reunion. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you disagree at all? This is just such a terrible hire, in my opinion, and it's not going to end well for the Steelers. 62 years old. I just don't understand this move. It just makes no sense from a football standpoint. From a story, yes, but from a football standpoint, this is terrible. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Me and Mike, we do the Lights Out podcast every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, where we talk baseball, college football, and of course, NFL. But we're going to do a special tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, so about 2 hours before the game. We're going to lead up to the game, talk for about an hour, hour and a half. We're going to preview those 2 games, the Broncos, Patriots, and the Rams, Seahawks. But we're also going to spend the first 10 or 15 minutes talking about the coaching hires this week. And of course, we'll talk about this. So make sure you check us out. Link in the description. Share this with anyone who loves football. I cover all 32 teams on this channel. Once again, check this out if you have not, and I'll see you in the next video.